Hi guys, it's Friday, so that means we've got some more Frostgrave. What I want to show you guys today is the skeletons from my last video, but painted, and I also want to show you some of the Plasticard scenery I've made, specifically for Frostgrave. So, let's crack on. Right then, here we go. So, I'll start off by showing you sort of how those skeletons turned out and what I thought of painting them. So, painting them was fantastic. I did these in my quick colourblind method, which basically involves getting the base coats on and hitting them with different washes depending on what they are. For example, brown on the bones, black on the silver, and I think on these ones I used a black wash on the brown cloths as well. These came out really nice. I spent about, I think it was 2 hours worth painting these up the other night, which of course is nice and quick considering there's there's 9 or 10 guys in here, so I was really chuffed with how they came out considering the amount of time I spent on them. So that's those guys. Really happy with those. Good stuff. Now, people have noticed a lot of the wood on my scenery, especially on the Frostgrave table. And a lot of people have assumed that it's the wood skewers that you can, skewers? the wooden little stick stirrers, if you will, from places like Starbucks. What I've actually used is styrene. Now, anybody who've watched my channel for a long time will know that I'm absolutely gaga for styrene. And one of the reasons for that is that it glues together perfectly. Styrene really reacts well to polycement, which is what you stick all your models together with. And as such, you can make sort of these structures and make them look awesome. Apologies if I sound a bit off today. I'm having some issues with a cold and my chest is playing up. So if I'm wheezing and the camera's picking it up, I do apologise. It doesn't sound great to listen to, but that's how I am at the moment. I'm a little in the under the weather. So, yeah, one of the reasons I like working with styrene is that it glues together absolutely solidly, and no matter how much you bend it and play around with it, it's not going to break. Which is great for sort of doing flat pack stuff like I like to do, where I like to just chuck it all in a box, flat pack, and store it nice and small. So we've got these, which are the gang planks that I made for walking between the buildings. I've got the ladders. This one needs another coat of the wash that I used to make it more brown. Basically what I do is I get a piece of 1mm styrene, using the back of one of the blades. So instead of using the front edge of your blade, this is a really dull blade on here, that's why I can happily just stick my finger on it like that. But using the back end there, preferably one that's snapped like this one has here, so you can see, and just drag it along the styrene in big long lines. It doesn't have to be straight. Anywhere that you mess up, so say there's a gap between two of the lines, you can go ahead and put knots in and things. And then once I've done a sort of a patch of that on the styrene, I chop it up into little strips, and then I chop those further up to make this sort of stuff. So I can make all sorts from it. I've got the gangways, all made from it. I've got the even thinner bits that I used for that. And then there's structures like this that you can make. Again, you can see quite clearly, it's just styrene. And it's all more of the same going on there. Sort of nice flight of stairs that I made a little while back. Put miniatures on it. You can put one of those fellas on it. And put my soldiers on it as well. It's a really nice game-friendly piece of scenery that can be used in games, rather than having to sort of say, well, this guy is like that far up the ladder, but I'll leave him at the bottom. I can just go ahead and go, ah, he's there. He's perfectly there. That's where he is. End of. That's why I really like this piece of scenery here. I'll be making more of these, and this of course goes perfectly with the floors. Now this is a floor that I made for the Pegasus scenery that I use. So I'm just going to drag in, hopefully I can get it in camera, shot this bad boy. I'm going to just bring this out a little, so you get to see the whole desk. Wonderful. This is a Pegasus Hobbies piece of scenery. Of course I've snapped it up, and you've seen videos where I've done all that. And this is the flooring here. So basically I've made it so that it just sort of slots in on top of the on top of the bottom layer, and then the top bit sandwiches it in place. Simple as that. This bridges the gap. This sort of is the right height for that. These are ladders to get up. And so on and so forth. So that is the scenery that I've been able to make. And of course styrene is dirt cheap. It really is incredibly cheap. Considering that this was maybe made out of a piece of styrene about yay big, all chopped up into strips. And you can get an A4 sheet for what, £1 or something like that. So you can imagine how many of these flights of stairs you can get out of £1. £1 or maybe $1 if you're in America. It goes a long way. Sorry, I am rambling on about this now. I must be in an awful state. Right then, that's basically what I want to show you. So basically wanted to tell you about this stuff. I've covered it in a video before, but I've made a lot more since with all this sort of stuff, as well as all the gangplanks and whatnot. I'm a really big advocate for using styrene for everything, so if you have any, or if you're looking to make anything like this, instead of using stirrers that are going to fall apart on you, this won't. I can lob it anywhere. Nice sturdy stuff, and it'll glue to anything else styrene as solid as a rock, so it basically melts it together. Right then, at the risk of going on and on and on and on and on and on and on, I want to thank you very much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Stay well, guys.